Glasgow is one of Europe's premier vacation destinations. As Scotland's largest and arguably most happening city, there are numerous activities and places to visit in and around the city. Glasgow is a city rich in art, history, and culture, with everything from music venues to museums and theaters. Keep an eye out for our suggestions. For the best things to do in Glasgow, Scotland, Glasgow Botanic Gardens. This attraction, one of Glasgow's most beautiful green spaces, is brimming with history, botany, and eye-catching architecture. The gardens were established in 1841 as part of the University of Glasgow and were taken over by the city in 1891. The domed glasshouse Kibble Palace, one of the garden's most distinctive buildings, was built in 1873. The equally striking Main Range Teak Glasshouse was built a few years later. Both of these stunning structures have been meticulously preserved and are brimming with exotic plants from all over the world. Buchanan Street. The famous and historic thoroughfare is a great place to start your Glasgow sightseeing tour. Buchanan Street dates back to the 18th century and is home to a diverse collection of Victorian-era architecture, as well as some of the city's most well-known upmarket shops and eateries. What we like best about Buchanan Street is the fact that it truly is the place to start exploring Glasgow. The street runs from the Buchanan Galleries in the north, all the way down to St. Enoch Square in the south. If you were in a hurry, you could walk the entire length of Buchanan Street in about 15 minutes or so. But we recommend taking your time because there are many unexpected things to discover in the surrounding spaces, side streets, and arcades. City Centre Mural Trail. Glasgow is a city that is proud of its abundance of street art. If you follow this path, you will be able to see numerous pieces of urban art that adorn the city center's countless walls. Acclaimed street artists such as Art Pistol, Ejek, and Ali Willie have created some of the most notable works. Spaceman on New Wind is one of the best known. Wiley and Recoat created that piece. Rogue One's shadow puppets, which can be found on the Cowcaddens Underpass, are another highlight. HUNTERIAN Museum and Art Gallery. Look no further than Scotland's oldest public museum to discover the wonders of the arts, sciences, and history. The HUNTERIAN Museum houses a large collection that includes many interactive and must-see exhibits, including a permanent gallery dedicated to the famous Antonine Wall. The museum also houses the world's largest collection of James McNeill Whistler's works. If you enjoy the classics, the museum houses many iconic works of art, including Rembrandt's Entombment. History buffs will enjoy the exhibits, dedicated to mankind's most significant scientific discoveries and advancements, while zoological, paleontological, and geological specimens will be equally fascinating. Kelvingrove Art Gallery and Museum. This fantastic attraction also happens to be one of the world's most visited art galleries and museums. It houses over 8,000 exhibits, ranging from Salvador Dali's Christ of St. John of the Cross to a real Spitfire aircraft that saw action during World War II. You will find medieval suits of armor, massive dinosaur skeletons, and stunning works of art by the Old Dutch masters, Scottish colorists, and French impressionists throughout the massive museum. Glasgow Cathedral. Since its dedication in 1197, this church has stood as a strong and enduring example of Scottish Gothic architecture. Wait until you see what is inside. If you think the outside is impressive, Glasgow Cathedral has one of the most extensive collections of post-war stained glass windows in the United Kingdom. The Millennium Window by John K. Clarke, on the other hand, is a true standout. After you have seen the cathedral, head over to the necropolis. It is a lovely, if slightly morbid, place to take a stroll and gaze out over the city, imagining what the skyline might have looked like centuries ago. George Square. The flower-covered George Square in Glasgow's beautiful and historic Victorian city centre features 12 statues of some of the most famous people with ties to the city, including Walter Scott, Queen Victoria, and Robbie Burns. The town hall, with its 230-foot tower, is located at the east end of the square. The tower is a sight to behold, and it was finished in 1890. There's also the Merchant's House, which serves as the headquarters of the United Kingdom's oldest chamber of commerce. It is difficult to believe it was founded in 1605. To the south of the square is a collection of mid-19th century warehouses, that form part of Glasgow's trendy Merchant City district. Many unique cafes, shops, galleries, and restaurants can be found in the district. Riverside Museum and Tall Ship. Many of the exhibits at this award-winning modern museum were previously featured at the city's now-defunct Transport Museum. Displays include model ships, vintage cars, horse-drawn carriages, locomotives, and trams, the vast majority of which were built in Glasgow. Another highlight is the museum's recreation of a street in Glasgow in 1938. There are also exhibits on immigration and famous disasters, such as the sinking of the Lusitania. The Glen Lee, a docked ship, can be seen outside. Guests can explore the three-masted barque vessel built in Glasgow and meticulously restored with the help of the Clyde Maritime Trust. If you are interested, there are also guided tours available. Glasgow Science Centre and Glasgow Tower. Glasgow Science Centre, one of the best family-friendly attractions in the city, is housed inside a striking titanium building shaped like a ship's hull. Inside, there are exhibits ranging from health to technology and scientific principles. It is easy to lose track of time at this seemingly endless, hands-on facility. Kids can learn the fundamentals of the scientific method by conducting fun, practical, and educational experiments at a variety of lab-like stations. The museum also has a planetarium, an IMAX theater, and a science theater where guest speakers give talks and lectures on a regular basis. Then, there is the Glasgow Tower, which is on the same property. The structure is the tallest in Scotland, standing 417 feet, 127 meters tall. From the observation platform at the top, you will be treated to panoramic views of the city and its surroundings. What makes the tower even more impressive is its ability to rotate a full 360 degrees. It was designed in such a way that it could withstand strong winds. It is the world's tallest rotating building, which is quite impressive. POLLOK House and POLLOK Park. The POLLOK House is located about 4 miles southwest of Glasgow's city centre. The grounds of the house cover 355 acres and were once home to the Maxwell family. In 1752, William Adam and his sons built the Edwardian mansion. The majority of the building is now open to the public for exploration. The vast collection of Spanish paintings by Velázquez, Goya, El Greco, and Murillo, owned by Sir William Maxwell, is on display. There are also notable works by William Blake and other well-known painters. There are guided and self-guided tours available. There's also an interactive exhibit called Escape the Past, where visitors try to solve puzzles in order to return to the present day. Glasgow Green and the People's Palace. Glasgow Green, the city's oldest park, was established in 1662 and is only a short walk from the city center. The People's Palace is one of the park's most popular attractions. This museum, which opened in 1898, does an excellent job of telling the detailed story of Glasgow's history from 1750 to the present day. One of the exhibits is a full-scale replica of a typical 1930s single-end home. Now, it is your turn to say something. Have you ever been to Glasgow, Scotland? If so, what are some of your favorite places to visit? If not, what are you most looking forward to seeing on your upcoming trip? Let us know in the comments. And as always, happy travels!